are the parts I'm going to be using today to do this job. A bellows boot, outer tie rod, and an inner tie rod. These are the tools I'm going to be using today to do this job. A 1/2 inch ratchet, 1/2 inch extension, 14mm wrench, 18mm wrench, hose clamp plier, side cutters, water pump plier, 12-inch crescent wrench, my ball joint remover, a hammer, a special tool to remove and replace the inner tie rod, pry bar, rubber mallet, 3-pound sledgehammer, and my grease gun. Okay, first I'm going to be loosening this lock nut. Removing the cotter pin. Loosening this nut. Don't take it off all the way. Just leave it about there. With my ball joint separator, separating the tie rod from the spindle. I can remove the nut. So I'm going to be marking this inner tie rod with a chalk. So I'm going to be unscrewing the tie rod end, the outer tie rod end. And count how many turns you unscrew before it comes off. Removing the nut. Removing this clamp. Removing this clamp that clamps on the boot to the rack and pinion. So I'm going to just break it off. I'm not going to be reusing it. So with my big screwdriver, position it right there and then just pound them. Break it off. So now we can pull off the boot. So I'm going to be bending this lock washer. Okay, putting on my tool to remove the inner tie rod. Unscrewing the inner tie rod. I'm going to be putting on my inner tie rod. I got to put this washer on. If you notice, this washer had two tabs. These two tabs got to fit right in here in this slot. That's so when you tighten them up, it doesn't spin. So you just got to put those two tabs in the slot. Got to spin them around. Okay. So now I'm going to tighten it up. Tightening up my inner tie rod. So I'm going to be bending these washers right in this slot. That's to lock the inner tie rod. So there's one here and there's one under here. So I'm just going to use a plier. So I'm going to be putting some grease right in here. Sliding on my boot. Putting on my tie strap. Nothing wrong with using a tie strap. So So don't forget to put this clamp on. Just put it on for now. Put your nut on. Put on your tie rod. Now we can attach the tie rod to the spindle. Tightening up my castle nut. Putting on my cotter pin. So I'm going to be tightening up this lock nut. Putting on my clamp. Greasing up the tie rod. So now you make sure you take your vehicle for an alignment. So that's how you replace an inner and outer tie rod and bellows boot. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up and I'll see you in the next video. Aloha.